All right, hello, and we are back today with another Lorwyn standard deck. This time we're trying out a Rakdos discard deck. I believe I pulled this from an MTGO 5.0. Thought it looked cool, and it's playing some interesting older cards in conjunction with the new ones. So, first off, shout out Blood Crypt. I already believe I made one video just talking about how important Blood Crypt is, along with Hallowed Fountain and Temple Garden for these color combinations. The mana base in Standard was really chalked. I think Standard kind of got disrupted by them deciding that they were going to do 7 sets instead of 4, so that messed up the order, that messed up the mana bases, and now we're sort of back in line with a little bit more symmetry. Some of the decks have fast lands, and some do not, but yeah, Blood Crypt's a really big deal. The other card, the new, most important card we're playing is Moonshadow, which is a 1-mana 1/1 basically with menace, and then whenever one or more permanents enter your graveyard, it grows. So it's not really a 1/1. It comes in with 6/1/1 counters, but it's a 1/1 that can eventually become a 7/7. So a really powerful card. And in a deck that is full of permanents and is discarding cards all the time, it's pretty easy to see why this can get out of hand. We've got Case of the Crimson Pulse for when we empty our hand to redraw cards. Also helps us discard. Flamewake Phoenix as fodder to discard and get back after your Moonshadows grow. Trying out Monument just because it fits a lot of the discard theme. Inti makes a lot of sense here, and then we have Bloodthorn Flail to enable a lot of our BS. So this is a 0-mana discard outlet, which is pretty nice. There's a new card, an elf that's like a 3/1 that lets you discard to get indestructible. Maybe that's a card this deck should have. But yeah, this is pretty good for enabling your Moonshadow. You can just machine gun your hand away, trigger your Inti, and just keep equipping to whatever you have. It also makes your creatures big enough for Flamewake Phoenix to come back, which is nice. Some Grim Baubles as removal spells. Permanent, which obviously matters for a lot of the things we have going on. Stalactite Stalker also cares about permanents entering the graveyard, so it fits the Moonshadow theme. But yeah, I just wanted to try out a Moonshadow deck, so I figured why not this one. Cecil, just as a solid 1-drop. We've got 8 Shocklands in our deck, and Bitter Triumph also to help us discard or deal damage to help flip Cecil. So, pretty sweet list. Sideboard, we got Deep-Cavern Bat, Cryptcaller Chariot, which in the slower matchups, you can use this to generate a ton of advantage. You get a vehicle, you get a bunch of zombies, Graveyard Haven Lantern, and then Lynx, because our mana base does have a lot of basics, because we're still short the fast land, like I said. So I don't think Lynx is unreasonable against things like Jeskai Control, so it makes sense here. So that is it for the list. If you guys want it, it is in the description as always, and I will see you all in the games. Alright, sure. A 1-drop into Inti. Could be blue-black mid-range, maybe even fairies. Kaito, fighting Kaito on the draw, always terrifying. I assume that card's in the deck, so cross our fingers. Yeah. So if the Inti lives, definitely throwing away one of these lands. What do you got? Getting you with a 2/2. What do you got? Thinking? We're thinking? Or we've left? We've disappeared? We've vanished? Right. So yeah, my hand is not very good. I assume if they had a removal spell, they would have cast it. Maybe care if I was discarding. Can't imagine they're actually thinking about what decision to make. Maybe they are. Very weird to just like be there for the first turn and then not the second turn. Oh, okay, well. Alright, are we back? Plan? Gaming? Okay, so it's actual fairies. That's cool. That's a nice beat down. Beautiful top deck. A relevant card. We love to see a relevant card. I get countered. Nice. We can get some value. Alright, well I think we're winning the race. Uh-oh. We're still winning the race. Probably. How close am I to Delirium? Creature here. I'm never gonna have it with the attack trigger, so. Drawing 3 cards, maybe? It's 3 mana, right? I think I've lost the race, but I also had to Stalker to pick things up. No activation? That's terrifying. Draw another land. Wow. We are very good at that. I'm trying to think if I just want to discard this case for the enchantment. What am I looking for in my yard, though? Creatures, legend rule, or activate. Whatever, I'll just do it. Fine. Wait for the delirium. Maybe I just stack it on Inti because bigger. Now I jump 3. Okay. I mean, I think the only relevant card we have seen is a singular Fear of Missing Out. Other than that, I guess we drew Case, which is really awful here. Then we drew lands and Intis. Kind of unfortunate, really. Because, like, it's a spot where, like, I think I'm ahead in the race if I get to play Magic, but just kind of didn't. I don't know. So this is 6 and 3. There, bitter triumph. Now it's 5. 5 to 3. Need to live through my turn, so chump is 1. And then they get 2 damage here, so I'm going to be taking 3, 4, 5. So I guess this just picks off this, right? They're dead, right? 3 and 5. Do they have to kill one of their bearers? They needed to block differently. They have to not die on my board with the trampler, and then they have to kill 2 bearers. I think we got him. Which I wouldn't have guessed. I would not have guessed based off of what happened, but I think they made some mistakes, and I'll take it. Do I want Deep-Cavern Bat? Very bad at attacking and blocking into their deck. Lynx is interesting because, so like, I think if people are playing with Bitter Bloombear, they should probably have a lot of dual lands. It's kind of unreliable to cast when you have islands in your deck. So maybe Lynx is good enough, but the next question is, do I have any cards that I think are bad? Like, Case is kind of mid, unless I draw a bunch of these. I think the burn damage is relatively appealing against a deck with Bitter Bloombearer. Again, I don't love Deep-Cavern Bat. I don't feel the need to sideboard. Monument good? Maybe Monument's worse than Case. I want to just try it, though. We'll go with this. Fairies is cool. I've played a little bit with Fairies. It just, I Feels underpowered, unfortunately. I do think Bitterboom Bear is a playable card, but it's not the strongest card. Fine. We'll see, though. Got a Pro Tour coming up, so that'll be interesting. Or it won't be. So no bear on turn 2. It's going to be Badgermal Cub versus people that think they can beat Badgermal Cub, and we'll see who can and who can't. Oh, my draw here is pretty nice. 2 removal spells. I have ways to filter my hand and draw cards. 1 drop and a 2 drop. This seems relatively ideal. I might even be able to empty my hand and just have this be a freebie. Sure. Alright. Then get Kaiket. Maybe I should have valued that's fire. Inti is a really cool card. I really enjoy playing with Inti. I just like cards like this where you're constantly thinking about what to do. Your decisions matter a lot. Okay, let's go this thing. We have a land creature. This is enchantment. Instant. I think we're going to go ahead and discard a card. It's going to be a land. Need the 4th land for much. This deck's cool. I like this deck. Fun. Okay, let's just bash, maybe? Then cast Fear. Alternatively, what do I do? I guess I can just discard the Triumph, right? Enduring Curiosity is something I could care about, but I'm just gonna go for stats. Sure. Keep my Inti in play. Alright, well, this worked out decently well. We get damage, we get trade, we got a free card off the discard, and then we still have the Fear as a freebie. Like, this is probably going to be a draw one no matter what. I would actually rather just discard it. Should I attack first? I think so. I mean, yeah, I should have sacked this. Whatever. I think we go on the Fear again, probably. Yeah, okay. Alright, so put the counters this way for the 4-3, so they can trade for Inti either way if we put the counter on it. This way we have 5-5. Curiosity gone. Oh. Get a free card. Null me? Beltmere, okay, fair enough. I guess I'll cast this for this avails. So if they can't answer this, they're very dead, I think. Get 2 combats. I don't think they're blocking it, so they have to probably have that removal spell. Okay, well now they are. They just concede. I mean, they're not dead, right? They just block and take 2. But probably should have put an upkeep stop and then looked for a 3rd Grim Bauble. That way it forces chump and they die. So, alright, GG's. Nice. Alright. Sure. This hand's kind of sus. We need some help, but right. We try it. This deck is very cool. This deck feels like what the people that are designing for 3-year standard would want it to look like. Where you're like, oh wow, this crazy LCI card with these other new things, and this is amazing, and wow, Moonshadow and Flamewake Phoenix and old cards. This is so cool. And then in practice, it's just like, I have 100 mana and I drew my deck. Yeah. Yeah, you do. You do and you did. Am I in a hurry? I'm trying to think. I don't think it matters. Like, unless I want to discard 2 to dodge like a disfigure effect, I think most of the time just dies or whatever they're doing. We're doing the thing. We're doing the thing as intended. I mean, that's pretty clean. Nothing too crazy, but a little freebie, little beatdowns. Can't complain. Boo. Alright, you go. So if this gets cast or discarded, I get Delirium. Jungle Hollow. Pardon my French. Hailstorm. There we go. Dead. Dead. I mean, this is kind of nice. Not bad. Do I need to decline? Oh. Good 12 anyway, but wow. This let's turn 5. Okay. I mean, turn 5 kill through 2 removal spells. You're missing out with the flail is also pretty good value. This card is just so strong. Like, I talk about power creep a lot. Duskmourn, Avatar, Bloomburrow. Like, some of these sets just have such strong cards in them. But this card is a very good one. Right. I think this card's sweet, though. I don't know if it needed to be a 2-3. If I could go back in time, maybe I'd make it a 2-2. But it is an interesting card. It's a really cool design. Very pushed, though. Right. So, my opponent's playing green-black stuff. I'm gonna call it mid-range, but I could see it being like Ice Till Explorer. If it's iced, I think these Lynxes are gonna end up being good. If they have Jungle Hollow, I don't know. If it's not Ice Till Explorer, Lynx is really good. If it is Ice Till Explorer, they probably have a pile of basics, and this is appealing. The fact that they had a Jungle Hollow, though, I guess they're just playing green-black pile. What do I want against green-black pile? Let's put in the Chariots. Let's just do it because they're there. Green-black pile. Let's do no bats. Just believe in our deck. Go no baubles. Don't want Lynx over a Bitter Triumph. I don't think so. Sure. Go with this. Get a little bit bigger, a little bit grindier. Yeah, I think there's a lot of different ways you could build this. You could play more monuments. You could play the Chariot's main deck. I do think the indestructible guy is probably the new elf, the 3/1, is probably reasonable. Wears equipment's decently. Could maybe even try to be Mardu and play Shelter. Shelter plus Moonshadow is not the worst if you can get it too big. Alright, this hand sucks, but I don't want to go to 5, so we'll keep and hope to draw like a 12 now or something. Not bad. regardless of if this is the best way to build a deck like this, there's a lot of cool things going on. The Bloodthorn Flail is kind of sweet. Yep, you're gaining life. Oh boy, what a good spot. Well, this one's looking hard. There are lands that you could play in this deck. The red one is... Okay, so they're green, black, ramp. They do probably have ISO, and they do probably have a bunch of basics. So maybe the Lynx isn't the most important card. The rest. Alright, well. Do this. Stalker. I will go ahead and flip the card just to get the counter. Here you go. I guess that, like, games like this are part of why the case is so good, where your cards don't do that much, but case just makes it so you get hellbent, you draw 2 cards a turn, and you go from there. So this deck is cool. I think it's well constructed for what it is. I don't know if it's going to be the best deck in the format, but we have a ban list coming up. Maybe they ban more stuff in standard. They kind of have this like rule that I don't believe in anymore, that there's once a year bans, but they also banned 3 cards last time there was an update off schedule. So maybe they'll ban more. I wouldn't be surprised. We'll see what the data from the Pro Tour has, but alright, there's the Fabled Passage. I think I'd probably get these Lynx out of here. Maybe I just don't even want Bitter Triumph. I feel like Ice Tail is relevant, but I mean, come on, deck. Alright, Deep-Cavern Bat versus bunch of removal. I think I like how I boarded. We have Soul Guide Lantern. Also, this is still just not very good. Bitter Triumph. Just do bad, I guess. Have 1. See, a Monument seems like a card that could end up being really good in this matchup if they're just trying to kill all my things. That's another thing you could do. Is you could just have Monuments in the sideboard for decks that you think are going to be good at blowing up your board. Alright, we get a playable 7 on the play. Let's run it. Guess I should have reconsidered if I even want Chariot or not, because they are ramp. But fine. Oh, the elf in there. I'll expect that. The shock is 16 and then 3 and 3. Flip. I think I just say bye to the land and assume I find a 4th land. Or another. We could flip Cecil next turn, which could potentially be relevant. But I get a lot of -3 effects. All the virtues, so could be good enough. And the flail doesn't look that great here. It does just make Cecil bigger. Probably won't be using it to equip unless I draw like a Flamewake Phoenix, something like that. Another elf. This deck doesn't play Badgerbolt Cub, right? I kind of assumed that most people don't play elf. Maybe that was a wrong assumption of me. Shock gives me flip. Flail equip gives me flip 2. That forces discard. Fine. So I go flail, discard, flail, equip. Inti trigger gives me more shots at land. Otherwise I have to shock. I need 2 of these. maybe I was supposed to discard the land. What do I do with 3 mana anyway? Here we go. So awkward if they wrath. Build elf into wraths. Classic arena strategy. Could happen. I don't really know the black wraths. Alright, well our Cecil lives. For now. Like it's gonna die because they're eyeballing it. Ghost back in? Sure. Oh, I have 1 black mana, so it could be the... I think it's Long Goodbye, maybe? Do I want to move... Yeah. Discard a card, move this here. I'm assuming my Cecil's gonna die. I guess they can kill Inti and then I don't get trample anymore. Question is, where do I want the trample? I do think I could go for the biggest guy. Not that worried about the lifelink. Inti still has value in play. Yeah, Moonshadow's a nice one. Good card. Stalker's sweet. This is the type of card I wish was good, but sure. Alright, disenchant, sure. I think I'm dumping. You're going away anyway. Alright, you can go. Got 2 lives. Got 3 lives. Alright, not bad. Well, this deck got the job done. Let's look at it really quick. Is there anything I want to change? I don't think so. Cool deck. Really cool deck. Very much so enjoyed that. I feel like red-black can just have some of the coolest archetypes between, like, Sack, like Madness, all that stuff. When obviously it goes closer in the Madness camp, but I do think it's a well-constructed deck. I doubt you have to play 4 Grim Baubles. One of the cards I thought about adding, I just decided not to change too many things, was Prodigy, because you have so many black 1-mana cards that this is always going to shock if this is something that you want. But the body, like, this deck doesn't really use the body that well. I guess you have Flail to equip. So in that sense, body's relevant. Inti also, you can stack counters on this, I guess. But, yeah, I think there's different ways to build this, especially this sideboard. I don't know how good the sideboard was, but the main deck's solid. Like, the Cecil fits what you're doing with Bitter Triumph and your mana base. Stalker, Moonshadow make perfect sense. Bauble makes sense as a permanent. I get that. But maybe you don't need that many permanents. Maybe you can upgrade the cases. I also understand. Fear Inti, great. So this deck is really cool. Definitely solid. I don't know if it is competitive with the rest of the things going on between Ancestral Recall and Badgermole Cub. And everything in between. A Reanimator or a Zombify that you can tutor with the new 2/4. That stuff is very powerful. But this deck is very cool. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed playing this deck. I will see you all in the next one. Peace.